Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you find yourself watching this. I hope that you find yourself happy and healthy and always healing. Today's discussion is simply about setting boundaries by saying no. How often do we struggle with simply saying no? So, today we're going to dive a little bit into that and hopefully my intention by the end of this video is that you will have everything that you need to begin that process of saying no without feeling guilty and ashamed. Okay, so that's what we're working on today. The power of saying no, because self care starts with honoring yourself. When you are at your best, when your cup is full, we know that you can then pour into the communities, your family, and everyone else that you serve. So today, a little bit a breakdown of how we're gonna tackle this subject. We're gonna talk about why we struggle saying no. Right, we're gonna address why we have that issue. We're gonna talk about the impact of overcommitting, right? Because no matter how much we have going on, some kind of way, we always find the extra time to fit something else in. We are always adding things to the plate and never taking it off. So, we're going to talk about what that does to you when you overcommit. And then the last part is we're going to give you what you need so that you can start saying no and not feel guilty about it. You can start saying no in a way that serves you in the best way possible. Again, this is not a way to be egotistical or um, not serve the people around you, right? This isn't a way to be selfish. This is a way to fill your cup in a way that opens the door for you to serve the ones around you in a more effective manner. So take a moment, just for a brief second, if you want to pause this video and think about it, or just think about it while I'm talking about it, but pause for a moment and think about why it feels so hard to say no. What are those reasons that you can identify within yourself? Some of those reasons may include it's hard saying no because you feel guilty. Um, I, Maybe you didn't have anything on the schedule to do, but you felt guilty saying no because you could have used that time to help someone else. Not realizing that saying no in that moment, you needed that rest, you needed that moment to recuperate. So just take a moment and think about why is it hard for you to say no. Here are some of the reasons that I've collected just over time. Um, Fear of disappointing others. How many times do we say no and then we immediately feel guilty, whether it's a child or a family member? But we've been conditioned to believe that we should make the people around us happy. And it really doesn't matter how we feel, as long as the people around us are happy. And I just want to disrupt that thought for you today and let you know that it's okay to honor those around you, but it should not be at the detriment of you, right? So if you are already tired and exhausted and you have no resources for yourself, it will be quite difficult to give that to someone else. So a lot of times that lead other people to be disappointed in us, so we do what we have to do to not disappoint the ones we love, correct? So I understand that that is one of the reasons that we struggle saying no, fear of disappointing others. And most likely, I'm talking to the women out here. You have been conditioned to be the nurturers of everyone around you. Yes, women are nurturers. We are mothers, and by nature, that's who we are. However, we should be nurturing ourselves as well. A malnourished woman cannot feed the proper nutrients to her child. So, because we've been conditioned to believe this, that we should always give, and society expects us to be just readily available to do all the things at any given moment with a smile. We've been conditioned to believe that this is just the way of life. Guilt or obligations towards your family. Guilt or obligations towards your family, especially if you are the go-to person of your family. If everything is all crumbling down, you're the one that they call. You feel guilty when you don't show up. How many times have your off days turned into run errands for my family day? If that's you, you're in the right space. You're in the right space. Write down 3 instances where you wanted to say no and you didn't. And if I didn't make it clear at the beginning of the video, I don't think I did, but this is definitely one of those conversations where you are going to have to put in some work, because I want you, when as you're thinking about this and you're taking the time to write these things down, I want you to really analyze, right? I want you to really analyze why you do some of the things that you do, right? And once we get to the root of those problems, once we can identify that name, now we can properly address how to get rid of those things, right? So really take a moment and write down or think about some of the times that you wanted to say no and you didn't. I'm sure there's a long list for some of us. So take a moment, pause the video, and come back, okay? All right, you're back. So let's talk about some of the things that happens when you don't say no. Because you just identified some of the ways that are some of the situations where you wanted to say no and you didn't say no. So let's talk about some of those things that will happen if you continue to do that over time. First thing I have written here, it says it leads to burnout and resentment. If you're always going as if you're the Energizer Bunny and you're not, if you're always going, giving, at some point, you're not going to have any more go left. You're not going to have any more to give. And now you're upset with everybody around you because now you're left with nothing while they are just happy go lucky living their best lives with what you've given them. Hello, somebody. You will get burnt out, and now it's everybody to blame except you. And I'm sorry, I'm not here to coddle you, but let's be real. That is your fault because you told everyone yes and told yourself no. It's okay. We're going to fix that today. We're going to fix that today. It negatively affects your relationships. If you always the yes man, that's going to become a one-sided relationship. Relationships involves at least two parties, right? It's going to affect everything around you if you're the only one saying yes, if you're the only one footing the bill, if you're the only one carrying the load. That's going to come into play. And then you get to questioning yourself. Then you get to questioning, well, where how did I get in this type of life? How am I always exhausted? How is this what I have to wake up to every day? I don't even want to wake up to this every day. Now how you view yourself is compromised because you bit off more than you could chew. And now it's taking a toll on you because you decided to go, go, go and not rest in between, right? You are not yourself when you are tired and depleted and exhausted. You're not. You're not. You know that Snickers commercial? You're not yourself when you're hungry. You're not yourself when you're running on fumes, when you're empty, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know you feel it. So let's reframe the way that you think about saying no. Because a lot of times it's our perception. No seems like such a bad word, but changing your perspective on how you view no can impact the way that you show up for yourself, and it can start to shift how you move. So let's understand that when you say no, it's simply setting a boundary because you love yourself and you love the people around you enough to take care of yourself so that when it's time for you to take care of them, you're in the best shape possible to do so. And instead of thinking that, oh, they're going to hate me because I said no. No, they're going to respect me more because I said no. They're going to understand that I can't always go and take, right? That there's going to be limits to what I can give. They're going to respect that. So instead of viewing no as this bad word, affirm that I am allowed to say no and not feel guilty. And I know sometimes we think of affirmations as just blank statements or blanket statements that doesn't really do anything. But once you say those affirmations and you really get those embedded in your brain and you start to believe them, it's going to reshape your thought process, right? And your thought process, right, is going to show in your actions. So I need you to take this affirmation, right? And I want you to hold on to it. I'm allowed to say no and not feel guilty. I am allowed to say no and not feel guilty. because some of us really beat ourselves up when it comes down to saying no. I'm sure we probably tried it a couple of times and it just didn't feel good. But reframe how you look at that. You're saying yes to yourself. You're saying, yes, I care about my body. I care about my time. I value my energy and my creativity and my intuitiveness. I value that about me, to not be sucked dry to the point where I cannot show up and use those very same things that I value about myself. So just reframe that when you are saying no to someone else, you're absolutely saying yes to alignment with purpose and freedom. So I'm not just going to throw you to the wolves and say, yes, this is what you need to do. Because if you did it one time and it didn't feel good, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be really excited to do it again. Okay. So let's talk about a couple of ways that you can say no. So let me help you get a little bit more information so that saying no can be a little bit easier for you. Okay. Okay. So to family, I can't do that right now, but I'd love to help you when I have more capacity. Now, that may seem like a lot to say, but I tell my family all the time, I don't have the capacity for that today. I don't have the mental bandwidth to deal with what I have going on and your issues. I don't have that today. Tomorrow I might, but today I don't. Let me do what I need to do in this moment to re-energize myself, and we can circle back to this conversation. Hey, I don't have what you're needing from me right now, but give me a couple of days and I got you. Right? And you have to understand that their emergency is not your emergency. Okay? Their emergency is not your emergency. So just to say I can't do that right now, but when I can, I will. Sometimes we have to set those boundaries in the corporate space, in the workplace. And I know we have deadlines and things to meet, so I'm not telling y'all to not do y'all job. But it is okay to say, I'll get to that tomorrow, kind of like what you did with the family. I have a more pressing priority. I have a more pressing issue that I need to address, and I'll get back to you on that. Right? That's fair. That's not rude. That's not unprofessional. But it is saying back up off me in the nicest way possible. And to your sweet, sweet babies and your sweet children, I know they are the apple of your eye. They are the star of the show. They are the reason that you do this. They are the ones that you go hard for. I know. I know. And sometimes telling them no can just break your little heart. I know. But you got to teach them. Mommy can't do it all the time. I trust that you can handle this. I trust that you can go fix your own peanut butter and jelly sandwich without burning down the house. I trust that for the next 30 minutes, you'll be okay while I have a little quiet time to myself. I trust that you can handle this. And if you can show me that you truly cannot, I'm here to help you. Some of us got grown kids. Some some of us got grown adult children who you will be nervous to say this statement to. And it's not because they can't handle it on their own. It's because they know they don't have to, because they can just call you. If I could just call the kitchen and say, hey, I would like chicken parmesan today, do you not think I would do that? Y'all know our children will be the first ones to play us. They'll act like they can't just so that they can get us too. Tell them, I trust that you can handle this on your own. And when you show me that you really can, then I'll be here. So, how can we, now that we know what to do, we know why it's the issue, we know how to combat the issue, right? Now we got to really put it into action. So, grab your bestie, grab your bestie, grab your boo thing, get somebody to role play with, script it. So if you got somebody at work that you need to tell, hold up, back up a little bit, role play that at home with your friends first, so that you can get comfortable with saying no. You can play it out. And if you genuinely don't have anybody to have that conversation with, do it with yourself in the mirror. Do it with yourself in the mirror. Have that conversation, say it out loud, record yourself, see how it sounds back to yourself, see what needs to be tweaked. Because when you become comfortable with it, now you know what to say, you've practiced it. Now you can become a little bit more comfortable and confident with saying it. Okay? So let's do a little exercise. Let's do a little exercise that can kind of help you build your boundaries, identify what those boundaries are, and then we can help you build out on that. Okay, so get ready for that. So we're basically going to build on the activity that we did earlier in the discussion. So we'll have three columns, and let's identify the space where a situation where you need to say no. And then in your second column, you'll have the boundary that you want to set. And in the third column, you'll come up with your script on how you want to communicate that. Okay? So we're going to define the boundary and we're going to figure out how we can communicate that. So you've already written down or thought of previously the situations where you could say no. And now I want you to identify, what would that boundary look like? What do I want them to do instead of X, Y, and Z? So let's go over a couple of examples to kind of put all of this together. So we also mentioned that family is one of our soft spots, right? So in this example, we'll say the situation is the family is always asking for the money. I know every family got some. Okay, we love our people. We'll go to war about our people. But don't act like every family don't have one. Every family has that one. Okay? So they're asking for money every week. The boundary that you could set in this situation is, I'm only available to help one time a month. That's all I got. I can't give you $20 every week. I can't give you $40, $50 every week. I'm gonna help you one time. The rest of the month you gotta figure it out on your own. You could be nice about it and say, hey, well, I got a couple bills that I got to handle. Or you could just simply say, no, once a month is all I have in me. That's money that we could be investing in other places and spaces. All right. So you see how we put all of that together? We identified the situation, identified the boundary, and we came up with a way that you can communicate that with the people around you. So, with your activity, and let me go back a slide. With your activity, this is what it should look like. Column one will be the situations where you need to say no. Column two will be the boundary that you would like to set. And column three is how you will communicate that, right? So there are times when we come up with the greatest script and we're ready to give our little speech on what we're ready. We've come up with what we want to say, but we don't prepare for the pushback because there will be pushback. Okay, so let's go ahead and prepare for that now. Okay, let's go ahead and address it, because again, if you are ready to tackle it, if you are prepared, then you're more likely to stand on that boundary, and you're more likely to feel confident and comfortable. So when they push back, not if, but when they push back, you got to keep your composure. You have to stay calm. You have to realize that, hey, I'm not the emotional one. You are. And just reiterate, hey, I can only help you once a month. All I have to give is this, nothing more, nothing less. This is what I have the space for today. This is what I have the capacity to handle today. I'm sorry that it does not align with what you would like, but this is the best decision for my wellness. They're going to push back again. So we can do what we like to call the broken record technique, where you're just repeating the message. Hey, I don't have the capacity for that today. I can only help you once a month. I understand, but I don't have the capacity for that today. I can only help you for once a month. I know that this is an emergency for you, but I don't have the capacity for that today. I only can help you once a month. And eventually, they'll get tired of that broken record. They're going to want to turn that off. So they're going to hush. And when that happens, I need you to be prepared and tell yourself, you don't have to feel guilty and you're not responsible for their feelings. You are not responsible for their feelings. When you are prioritizing yourself, your well being, you are not responsible for someone else not taking care of their business on their end to put themselves in the best position possible. We can only do so much for people until they start doing it for themselves. So don't be alarmed when you get pushback. Be ready for the pushback. Be prepared for the pushback. But I need you to stay calm and stand firm on your boundaries. So, I'm let's wrap this up. So, what can you do moving forward? So now you have the information that you need. You know the what, you know the why. You have the tools, the skills to put it into action. So what do you do next? So identify, write down, think about, come up with one no that you'll commit to this week. So if you're watching this on a Tuesday, you got until next Tuesday to commit to the no. So whatever day you find yourself watching this, 7 days from today, what no can you commit to? And identify this is not just me saying no, but me saying no is going to open the door for a yes to something else. So if you say no, I can't go out with you today. No, I don't have the energy for you today. That is an opportunity for you to stay home, rest, meditate, get your herbal teas, and replenish yourself so that the next time the opportunity presents itself, you're able to go out, right? So, what can you say no to today that you can commit to? But then also follow that up with what am I saying yes to by me saying no to that? If you haven't already, go ahead and join Kingdom's Corner, because in Kingdom's Corner, you'll get your weekly reminders on how you can continue to say yes to yourself. Continue to say yes to yourself. Maybe you haven't identified all of the ways that you can say yes to you. Maybe you haven't explored yourself quite that much to realize what really gives you the energy and the rejuvenation that you need. So, Kingdom's Corner is a way that you can stay connected and you'll get all those good skills and information that can help build your self-confidence, build your arsenal as it relates to your self-care practices. And I know how some of us feel about email list, and read the email, read it and really sit with it, because those are that's the free information. It's like having a life coach in your email box. Okay, so definitely take advantage of Kingdom's Corner, because that's going to help you stick to your boundaries on saying no. These are all the wonderful ways that you can connect with me. If you want to join Kingdom's Corner, that is at the site pin site / Christian Empowers. So you can highlight it, copy it, and paste it there. You can visit one of my social pages, and the link is there as well. And if you just know that you want to work with me, you're ready to take this the next step further, go ahead and send me an email, and we can definitely connect and help you get to the best you possible. And please, as I close out, remember, when you say no to others, you are saying yes to yourself and yes to the life that you truly want and deserve. Until next time, see you later.